Have you ever asked yourself why life feels so unfair, as if no matter how much effort you put in, the challenges never stop coming? It is easy to believe that happiness will arrive once the storms are gone, once the debt is paid, once the heart heals, once the world finally gives you a break. But deep inside, you know that waiting for perfect conditions is a trap. Life will never be flawless. There will always be setbacks, pain, and unexpected losses. The truth is, happiness is not found on the other side of struggle. It is something you must decide to hold on to in the middle of it. Most people don't realize how their own minds work against them. The human brain is naturally wired to focus on problems. It remembers insults more than compliments. It holds on to losses more than wins. It constantly warns you about what could go wrong. That's why life feels heavier when you are hurting. Your brain is pulling your attention toward the darkness. But here's the shift. What if you stopped waiting for life to get easier and instead trained yourself to be stronger? What if you learned to push yourself toward joy, even when everything around you tells you it's impossible? Hardship is not a wall designed to block you. It is a mirror showing you what you are made of. Every time you face difficulty, you are being given proof that you can survive what once felt unbearable. You have already lived through storms that you thought would destroy you, and yet here you are. That alone is evidence of resilience. But resilience does not grow by accident. It grows when you decide, in the middle of pain, that you will not let the pain define you. Choosing happiness in hard times is not pretending that pain doesn't exist. It is deciding that pain will not be the final word. This choice is powerful because it places control back in your hands. Life may take your comfort, your plans, even people you love, but it cannot take your ability to decide how you will respond. That is where your power lies. The moment you choose to see beyond the suffering, you begin to rise above it. That choice is your victory. That choice is your freedom. Stay with this message, because what you're about to hear will shift the way you think about happiness forever. If you learn to push yourself into joy when life feels unbearable, nothing will be able to break you. You will no longer be a victim of circumstance, but a master of your own mind. This journey will not just help you survive, it will help you grow stronger, calmer, and more unshakable than you ever imagined, and by the end you will understand that happiness is not a reward for the lucky. It is the power of the strong, and it belongs to you. Word count 500. Would you like me to continue with section? In the same exact way, 500 words, deep motivational flow. Happiness is not a prize waiting at the finish line. It is a choice you make in the middle of the race. Most people believe joy is something that appears only when everything falls into place, when the debts are cleared, when the body feels healthy, when the world finally approves. But happiness doesn't wait for conditions to be perfect. It begins the moment you decide to claim it, even in the midst of imperfection. The power of that choice can change everything, because your mind responds to the direction you give it. When you tell yourself that life must be easier before you can be happy, you hand over your control. You let circumstances dictate your emotional state. But the truth is, you were never meant to be ruled by conditions outside your control. You are meant to lead your mind, not follow it blindly. The moment you take responsibility for your inner state, you discover something most people never realize. Happiness is a decision you make daily, not an event you wait for. Your brain follows patterns, and those patterns grow stronger with repetition. If you focus on what is broken, your mind will keep searching for more proof of pain. If you choose to focus on what is still good, your brain will train itself to see hope even in the storm. This is the science of how the mind works. It bends toward what you consistently feed it. That means happiness is not luck, it is training. It is a discipline of teaching your mind where to look, even when your heart feels heavy. This choice is an act of courage. It is easy to react to pain, to let frustration and despair lead the way. But to choose gratitude when you feel empty, to choose peace when the world feels loud, to choose joy when circumstances scream otherwise, that is the mark of true strength. It is not denial, it is power. It is the refusal to surrender your soul to what you cannot control. Every time you practice this, even in small ways, you strengthen your ability to rise above. You build a foundation that cannot be shaken by temporary storms. And the reward is freedom. Freedom from waiting for permission to feel alive. Freedom from being trapped by the highs and lows of circumstance. Freedom to decide here and now that no matter what is happening outside, you will not be broken inside. That freedom is priceless. It makes you untouchable in ways that few people will ever experience. Because while the world struggles, waiting for life to hand them happiness, you will already be living it. Not because your life is perfect, but because you learned the secret. Happiness is not given, it is chosen. And once you claim that truth, you carry a power that no hardship can take away. Word count 500. Would you like me to continue with section 3 in the same exact 500 word flow? Pain is often seen as an enemy, something to run from, something to silence or numb. Yet the truth is that pain holds the potential to shape you into someone far stronger than you ever imagined. It is a teacher that arrives uninvited, but one that carries lessons no comfort could ever give. Every hardship forces you to face yourself. It reveals how deep your endurance runs, how vast your patience can be, and how much power is hidden within you that you never knew existed. When life is easy, growth is slow. When everything is smooth, you rarely discover what you are truly capable of. It is in the storms, in the nights when sleep escapes you, in the moments when everything feels like it is falling apart, that the deepest parts of your character are forged. Pain is not proof that you are weak. It is evidence that you are alive, that you are still moving, that you have something worth fighting for. And when you push yourself to choose happiness in that very pain, you are not pretending it doesn't exist. You are proving that it does not control you. Struggle can leave scars, but scars are not signs of defeat. They are reminders of survival, evidence that you walked through fire and came out the other side. The mind has a remarkable way of transforming suffering into strength when you allow it to. What once felt unbearable can later become the very reason you stand taller, speak clearer, and live with greater purpose. This is the hidden gift of hardship. It forces you to find a version of yourself that only pressure could reveal. Every setback holds within it an opportunity to redefine yourself. You can let the weight crush you, or you can use it to build muscle, to become unshakable in ways you never thought possible. Pain is not a signal to give up. It is an invitation to rise. It demands that you dig deeper, that you find meaning, that you unlock the resilience buried in your soul. And once you realize that happiness can grow even in the soil of struggle, you stop waiting for perfect conditions to bloom. You bloom exactly where you are planted, even in the cracks, even in the shadows. Choosing happiness in hardship is not about ignoring the tears or dismissing the heartache. It is about saying, "This will not break me. This will not steal my spirit. This will not take my joy." That declaration is more powerful than any obstacle. It turns pain into a stepping stone, suffering into wisdom, and weakness into strength. Every wound becomes a teacher, every challenge a classroom, every trial a chance to grow deeper. And the moment you decide to see pain as your teacher instead of your enemy, you step into a freedom most people will never know. Word count 500. Would you like me to move forward and write section 4 in the same powerful 500 word flow? Strength of mind does not appear overnight. It is built piece by piece, choice by choice, through the way you respond to life's pressure. Every time you face hardship and refuse to collapse, you are building resilience. Resilience is not the absence of pain, it is the decision to keep standing even while pain is present. It is the inner shield that grows stronger each time you push yourself to rise when falling would be easier. Your mind is like a muscle, and just like the body, it becomes stronger only under resistance. When you lift a weight, the strain tears the fibers so they can rebuild with greater power. Life does the same to your spirit. The challenges you face tear at your limits, but if you endure, you come back stronger than before. That is why resilience is not a gift reserved for a few. It is available to anyone who decides to stay in the fight long enough to grow from it. Resilience begins in the thoughts you choose to hold. The words you speak to yourself when no one else can hear shape the way you feel. And the way you feel shapes the way you act. Negative self-talk can drain your energy faster than any hardship, but encouraging words can lift you even in your darkest hour. When you speak life into your own spirit, you create a source of strength that the outside world cannot touch. This is the first step in building resilience, mastering the language you use within your own mind. Another key to resilience is perspective. The same problem can either crush you or teach you, depending on how you frame it. If you see difficulty as an end, it will drain you. If you see it as a lesson, it will prepare you. This shift in perspective is powerful because it places you in control. It allows you to face circumstances not as a victim of life, but as a student of it. and every lesson you embrace makes you harder to defeat. Resilience is also built through small, consistent actions. It does not come from one dramatic choice, but from daily decisions to keep moving forward, to breathe through the pressure, to focus on solutions rather than obstacles. Each small victory builds momentum, and momentum builds confidence. With time, you begin to realize that nothing outside of you has the authority to decide your strength. You are the one who decides. The reward of resilience is freedom. It is the ability to walk through fire and remain calm, to face storms and remain steady, to feel pain and still choose joy. When you cultivate resilience, hardship loses its power to break you. You may bend, but you will not shatter. You may stumble, but you will rise again. And with every rise, you prove to yourself that nothing in this world can defeat a mind that refuses to surrender. Word count 500. Would you like me to continue with section 5 in the same exact 500-word style? Happiness is not a matter of luck or chance. It is the result of discipline, of choosing daily habits that direct your mind and spirit toward light instead of darkness. Too many people wait for a burst of inspiration to feel joy, but joy is not found in random moments. It is built through repetition, through the choices you make each day to nourish your inner world. When you create space for gratitude, when you take time to breathe deeply, when you focus your energy on what lifts you, rather than what drags you down, you are not simply passing time, you are building the architecture of lasting happiness. Discipline does not always feel exciting. It can feel ordinary, even boring. But those ordinary acts are the bricks that form an unshakable foundation. Writing down what you are grateful for, moving your body when your energy feels low, pausing to notice something beautiful, choosing kindness when frustration rises. These are not small gestures. They are powerful rituals that train your mind to see beyond struggle. They shift your attention away from what is missing and toward what is already present. And the more you practice them, the more natural they become, until joy is no longer an effort but a reflex. The brain is constantly being shaped by what you repeat. When you repeat negativity, the pathways of despair grow stronger. When you repeat gratitude and intentional joy, your brain rewires itself to recognize peace even in chaos. This is why discipline matters so deeply. It is not about forcing yourself into fake positivity. It is about deliberately choosing actions that create a healthier state of mind. It is about planting seeds of happiness every day, even when the soil feels dry. Discipline also gives you control. Without it, emotions swing you back and forth like waves in a storm. With it, you learn to steer your ship, even when the sea is rough. You cannot control the weather, but you can control how you sail. Each habit you commit to is like an anchor, keeping you steady when the world around you feels unstable. That steadiness becomes your strength. The truth is, happiness is not hidden in grand victories or distant dreams. It is hidden in the small details of today. The smile you share, the breath you take with awareness, the decision to appreciate what you have right now. These are where joy lives. When you stop chasing happiness as if it were a distant prize and start creating it in your daily rituals, life feels lighter. Discipline becomes the doorway through which happiness walks into your life. The choice is always yours. Build the habits, practice the rituals, discipline your mind. Do it daily, do it faithfully, and happiness will no longer feel like something you are chasing. It will become the atmosphere you live in, even when storms surround you. That is the power of daily discipline, the ability to choose joy not once, but again and again. Word count 500. Would you like me to move forward and craft section 6 in the same 500-word motivational flow? Comparison is one of the greatest thieves of happiness. It creeps into your mind quietly, making you believe that your life is lacking simply because someone else seems to be ahead. The more you measure yourself against others, the heavier your burden feels. Struggle becomes harder when you constantly hold it next to another person's highlight reel. You begin to feel as though your journey is not enough, as though your progress is invisible, as though joy is something reserved only for those who appear to be winning. But the truth is, comparison blinds you to the beauty of your own growth. When you look at others, you often see only the surface. You see success without the sacrifice, smiles without the hidden pain, victories without the battles that came before them. Measuring your happiness against someone else's appearance is like judging a book by only its cover. It is incomplete, and it is unfair to yourself. You are not here to live someone else's story. You are here to live your own, and your story deserves your full attention. The constant habit of comparison keeps you trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction. When you look up at those who seem more successful, envy grows. When you look down at those who seem to have less, arrogance sneaks in. Both steal peace. Both distract you from the only race that truly matters, the one you are running with yourself. Your purpose is not to be better than others. It is to be better than you were yesterday. That is the only comparison that builds rather than destroys. When you shift your focus to your own path, everything changes. Suddenly, progress becomes the goal, not perfection. You begin to recognize the small wins that used to go unnoticed. You celebrate the steps you are taking, even if they are small, because you realize they are steps forward. And as you celebrate your own growth, happiness begins to take root. Joy no longer depends on someone else's pace because you understand that your timing is uniquely yours. Letting go of comparison frees you to experience peace. It allows you to enjoy the present without constantly worrying about where you stand in the eyes of others. It teaches you to value your own strengths, your own lessons, your own resilience. This freedom is powerful because it removes the weight of false competition. Life is not about who gets there first. It is about who grows, who learns, who finds meaning in the journey. Happiness becomes possible the moment you stop running someone else's race. It becomes real when you decide that your worth is not tied to another person's achievements. You do not need to match anyone else's timeline. You do not need to wear anyone else's crown. Your path is enough. Your progress is enough. And the day you release comparison is the day you step into true joy, unshaken and unthreatened by the world around you. Word count 500. Would you like me to continue with section 7 in the same exact style and emotional depth? Struggle feels unbearable when it seems meaningless. Pain without purpose weighs heavier than anything else in life. But when you attach meaning to your hardship, everything shifts. The weight is still there, but it becomes something you can carry because you understand why it matters. Purpose turns suffering from punishment into preparation. It transforms obstacles into stepping stones, not because the pain vanishes, but because it now serves a higher reason. Every challenge you face is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable of fulfilling the role you are meant to play. Hardship is not a detour from your path. It is part of the path itself. Without it, you would not uncover the strength you now know you hold. Without it, you would not develop the empathy that allows you to connect deeply with others. Without it, you would not see clearly the values and priorities that matter most. Pain sharpens your vision. It strips away the unnecessary and forces you to focus on what is real. When you begin to see struggle as a form of preparation, hope rises again. Suddenly, what once felt like a dead end becomes a training ground. The sleepless nights, the tears, the setbacks, the disappointments, all of them become part of a process that is building you into someone who can handle far greater blessings in the future. You are not simply enduring. You are being refined. The fire that feels like it is destroying you is actually strengthening you, burning away weakness and revealing resilience you did not know you had. Purpose also connects you to something larger than yourself. When you find meaning in your pain, you discover that it can serve others. The lessons you learn, the strength you build, the wisdom you gain, these become tools that can inspire and lift the people around you. Your story of endurance can become the very reason someone else decides not to give up. In this way, your struggle is never wasted. It multiplies its value by touching lives beyond your own. Even the darkest moments can be transformed when you ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Who is this shaping me to become? How can this serve a greater purpose? The answers to those questions give you fuel to keep going. They turn despair into determination and hopelessness into strength. They remind you that what feels unbearable today may be the very thing that gives you the power to change tomorrow. Purpose does not erase pain, but it gives it meaning. And meaning gives you endurance. When you attach a why to your struggle, you can carry almost any how. The weight is still there, but it no longer crushes you. Instead, it carves you into someone unbreakable. That is the gift of purpose in hardship. The power to rise, not despite the struggle, but because of it. Word count 500. Would you like me to complete the final section 8 in the same exact 500 word flow to bring everything together with maximum power? Happiness in hard times is not weakness. It is the highest expression of strength. To smile when life is kind requires nothing. To smile when life is cruel requires power that few dare to develop. When you choose joy in difficulty, you are not pretending the pain is gone. You are declaring that it will not rule you. That choice is an act of defiance against everything trying to break you. It is the purest form of power because it proves that nothing outside of you has authority over what is within you. Life will always test you. It will bend you, stretch you, and at times feel like it is crushing you. But happiness chosen in the middle of the storm is a shield. It protects your mind. It steadies your heart. It gives you the ability to keep moving forward when everything around you is telling you to stop. Choosing joy when the world feels heavy is not naive. It is the ultimate form of wisdom. It is the recognition that while circumstances are temporary, the state of your soul is eternal, and you alone decide how bright it will shine. Every hardship you have faced has been a chance to practice this strength. Every moment you refuse to give in to bitterness, every time you breathe deeply instead of collapsing, every time you whispered gratitude when your heart was breaking, you were proving to yourself that happiness can be chosen. Those small victories matter because they add up to unshakable resilience. The more you practice choosing joy, the more it becomes your natural state, until even the darkest days cannot pull you under. This choice is not easy, but nothing powerful ever is. It requires courage to stand tall when everything in you wants to fall. It requires discipline to direct your focus when your mind wants to wander into despair. It requires belief in your own strength when the evidence seems to say otherwise. But each time you do it, you grow stronger. Each time you push yourself toward joy, you reclaim more of your freedom, and freedom is worth the fight. Happiness in hardship is not about waiting for storms to pass. It is about learning to dance in the rain. It is about discovering peace in chaos, hope in despair, and strength in weakness. It is about realizing that life does not have to be perfect for you to be grateful, fulfilled, and alive. The storm may rage, but within you, a deeper calm can exist, a calm that nothing can take away. This is your power. This is your truth. Happiness is not a gift for the fortunate. It is not a prize for those who never suffer. It is a choice, an act of courage, a decision you can make right now. The world may try to break you, but it cannot touch the joy you choose to hold. That joy is your rebellion. That joy is your strength. That joy is your freedom. Word count 500. Would you like me to now stitch together all 8 sections into one continuous 4,000-word full script for you? The mind is a battlefield where your greatest victories or your deepest defeats are decided. Every thought you allow to linger has the power to shape the reality you live in. If you feed it doubt, hesitation, and fear, your life will mirror weakness, missed opportunities, and regret. But if you feed it faith, conviction, and courage, your life will reflect strength, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. The choice is always in your hands, and each moment you breathe is another chance to decide which voice you will obey. Most people lose because they never realize how much power they already carry within. They walk around searching for answers, waiting for signs, hoping someone else will unlock their potential, while all along the key has been in their own mind. The moment you silence the noise of weakness and give command to strength, you awaken the part of yourself that was built to overcome. Nothing outside of you can dominate what you refuse to accept inside. It is not about pretending that pain does not exist, nor about denying that life has been unfair. It is about refusing to let those realities dictate how far you rise. Every wound can be transformed into wisdom, every setback into strength, every obstacle into fuel, but only if you decide that nothing will break you. The human spirit bends, but does not have to shatter. The storms will come, the weight will feel unbearable, but the one who refuses to surrender is the one who discovers what they were truly made of. That discovery does not happen in comfort. It happens in the fire. When everything in you screams to quit and yet you stand, you tap into the kind of strength most people will never experience. That strength is what separates those who live as prisoners of circumstance from those who become masters of destiny. Your mind was never meant to be a cage. It was meant to be a weapon. But a weapon without discipline is dangerous, and a mind left unchecked can destroy its own master. Discipline is the line that divides chaos from clarity. Train your thoughts the way a warrior trains his body. Do not allow laziness, excuses, or fear to take root. Each time you catch yourself drifting toward weakness, pull yourself back with force. That is how you reclaim control. That is how you break free from the grip of negativity that wants to keep you chained. Every day you have the choice. Give in to the old patterns that suffocate your growth, or fight for the life you know you were created to live. When you decide to fight, truly fight, you will realize that nothing external can stop you. People may doubt you, circumstances may press you, failures may test you, but the one who has mastered their mind cannot be defeated. Your reality will always rise to the level of your thoughts. Protect them, command them, and direct them with purpose, and life itself will bow to your strength.